Vote uncommitted tomorrow in the Michigan primary if you are a Democratic Michigan primary voter. Tomorrow is the Michigan primary, in which many Democratic primary voters are going to be voting uncommitted rather than putting Joe Biden's name down. Now, before the libs and blue MAGA and shit come in here and come for me and everybody else who's talking about this, hold. This is the primary. We are not talking right now about the general election. And you guys say that you care about democracy, that we all care about democracy. That's why we're worried about Trump, right? Because he wants fascism pretty clearly. The whole Republican Party does. No one's denying that. And we know that. But right now we're talking about the primary. And if you care about democracy, then you should respect the fact that people want to make their voices heard. And the Biden administration knows that they are in trouble in Michigan. They know that despite all the smear campaigns the corporate mainstream media and the other Democratic apparatchiks are doing against people like Rashida Tlaib or the mayor of Dearborn, people are going to vote uncommitted nonetheless. Now, they said they think that they can just ignore it. They think that they can put together a coalition that doesn't include Arabs. The problem is, aside from the fact that you shouldn't be discounting any of your voters, is that it's not just Arab American voters that are going to vote uncommitted. There is a large amount of people who have already made clear, and this includes not just Arab American voters, Black voters in Michigan, and voters across all races and genders under the age of 35. So bitch, you're in trouble, okay? You're not just in trouble with Arabs. As it turns out, a lot of people are mad about the genocide in Gaza and the fact that you refuse to do anything about it because you are more interested in protecting Israel and Netanyahu's career than you are, apparently, about your own re-election. Here's the way that one of the organizers of this movement to vote uncommitted put it to Mehdi Hassan.
This movement is coming out of is people have been calling the representatives, they've been calling the White House, they've been protesting in the streets, they've been shutting down highways, and Biden still doesn't seem to be hearing us. So, you know what? If you won't hear us when we are calling our representatives or when we are protesting in the streets, maybe you'll hear us when we show you that we've got some votes of people who you can count out.
He is absolutely right. People have been calling the representatives. People have been protesting. They are very much aware of all of this. Biden only won Michigan by 154,000 votes. That's it. Remember, we don't do election by popular vote here in the U.S. So the Electoral College matters a lot, and Michigan is one of the key states. There are well over 200,000 Arab Americans in Michigan.
I think I came back from Thanksgiving and tweeted, I met a bunch of Muslim family members and friends, not a single one is voting for Biden. And these are all ex-Biden voters. People are very upset. I know a lot of people in Dearborn, including Abdullah Hamoud, the mayor of Dearborn, and not a single one is going to vote for Biden, they say right now. Now, the uncommitted strategy that Abbas, who I also know, laid out there, is exactly that. They're not saying we're never going to vote for Biden. They're saying we're trying to put pressure on Biden to come around with the political tool that we have. This is a democracy. Yeah. And I think that is a legitimate strategy. No one is saying go vote Trump. No one is saying they're all the same. They're saying, President Biden, can you hear us?
What Mehdi Hassan said there is key. This is a democracy for now. And what Michigan voters are saying is listen to us. They are using their vote in a democracy to say, can you hear us? So you should not be shaming or attacking any Arab voter, any Muslim voter. A lot of people are attacked. The mainstream media and all the Democratic hacks in power are all attacking Rashida Tlaib and Abbas and Hassan, who are saying they are going to exercise their voice to tell our president to change fucking course. And the thing that's crazy is that you're getting mad at them for exercising their voice in the primary instead of getting mad at Joe Biden and the campaign for refusing to listen. We have gotten so used to the insanity of the way our election works and being held hostage by our leaders with the lesser of two evils. Shut up, suck it up, you don't get shit. We're so used to that the idea that some people are actually going to use their vote and exercise a little bit of political muscle is like crazy to you. Like, it's crazy to you that voters are saying, hey, if you're going to keep spitting in our face and not listening to us when we're screaming at you, maybe you don't get our vote. That's how it's supposed to work. But when you've been held hostage for so long because we're stuck in this hellscape of this two-party system where we're constantly having to vote for the best war criminal, you guys are like, wait a second, you're actually asking for something of our politicians? What? And then you yell at them and you shame them. Why aren't you shaming him? He's the one who should be shamed. Every single person that is standing in our government by this genocide should be the ones that are being shamed, not the voters. We seem to have forgotten how this works.
For you, Biden has a pathway forward.
Biden has a pathway forward. It's not
What does
saying
that look like?
that is him calling for a permanent immediate ceasefire. The straightforward, simple answer for the Biden administration is push for a ceasefire, stop aiding Israel in their war crimes, and I guarantee you there are enough people who would be willing to deal with it and vote for the man.
That particular voter on that panel just there said what a lot of voters in Michigan are saying. They are not saying 100% they're not going to vote for him. They are telling him exactly what to do. You want our vote? Stop the genocide now. And I don't want to hear that he can't, because yes, he can. Look at the history of foreign policy. Just like Ronald Reagan did in the 80s with Israel, he could pick up the phone right fucking now and have it ended, okay? Let's not forget who are the ones who prop up the Israeli regime. Let's not forget who pays for it. He could end it with a phone call. Just like all of these people said, make them hear your voice. If they want to play fucking games and fuck around, they can find out. Vote uncommitted tomorrow. If you are a Michigan voter, vote uncommitted. This is, again, for any of you who want to come in here and cry about it, this is, at this moment, when it comes to voting, the best thing that you can do. Because we are still in the primary. And I hope that everybody who is a Democrat in Michigan votes uncommitted and embarrasses him. Because all they care about are their egos. They don't care about the Palestinians, obviously. They need their power threatened. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what about Trump? What about Project 2025? What about the Muslim ban? They know. They don't need you to tell them that. They don't need you to remind them of that. I assure you that there is not a single Muslim or Arab American person in this fucking country that doesn't know what Trump is capable of. They are aware that Trump is going to do the Muslim ban. They are aware of how dangerous the right wing is. They are aware of Project 2025. I promise you they are aware. They don't need to hear about how it's going to be worse when it's as horrific as it is now. I am not saying that Trump is not to be feared, that a presidency, another Trump presidency, another right-wing fucking fascist takeover is not to be feared. I am not downplaying that. I understand how dangerous they are. I understand what they want to do. And I understand that they would be even worse when it comes to Arab Americans and when it comes to Israel. But Arab Americans and Muslim Americans understand that more than anyone. And so reminding them about the fact that Trump might be president again and make shit worse is no comfort to the people that are losing loved ones right now. There are Arab Americans who live in Michigan who have family in Gaza, have lost dozens of family members. And you really want to go and tell them? Maybe someone who's lost 10, 20 family members? Yeah, but here's the thing about Trump. I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. I don't want fucking Trump to win. I don't want the fascist Republicans getting back in power. I understand that they're fucking dangerous. So I ask the question again. Why don't they understand? Why doesn't the Biden administration understand? Because it's always put back on the voter. You need to do this. You need to consider Trump. You need to consider the Muslim ban. How come no one asks Biden to consider things? How come no one is asking the Biden administration, do you consider you are going to lose? Do you consider that your unequivocal, unfucking conditional support to Netanyahu and his fascist government is going to cost you the election? No one is putting the onus on the powerful. You continue to put the onus on the voter. It is Biden's responsibility to earn the vote of Arab Americans. It is Biden's responsibility to earn the vote of Black Americans and young Americans. It is not the responsibility of grieving fucking families to set aside their grief after they just lost a bunch of their family members to make sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win again. It is up to them, the ones with the power, to make decisions and to earn the votes of these people. And if they're not going to change course and they're not going to stop the genocide, then they've got no fucking right to expect for anybody in this country to vote for them and to continue to prop up their genocide. So don't get mad at regular people. You've got to worry about Trump getting in office. You're worried about what might happen if Biden loses. Fucking take it up with them.